All right, I got a question for you. Let's just start this video out with a question. Let's just get right into it. And here's my question. We've had a few months now, March, April, May, whether it's the draft, whether it's the first wave of free agency in March, or kind of the second wave of lesser-known free agency in May, and now pretty soon here into June. My question for you is, who is the Detroit Lions' most dangerous addition? That's dangerous. All right, Bleacher Report came out with an article of every team's most dangerous addition in the offseason. I see what they put, and we'll talk about that. But I first want to ask you, go ahead, pause the video, think about it for a second. Who was the Detroit Lions' most dangerous addition? And then after watching the video or now or whatever, leave a comment and let me know who you think it was, maybe even a why. I love hearing the reasonings that you guys have behind things. It is great insight very, very often. So let's start with who exactly Bleacher Report said was our most dangerous addition, and it is Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Very interesting decision. Let's see why they said it. After taking Alabama quarterback Terrion Arnold in the first round of the draft, the Detroit Lions double-dipped with Missouri corner Ennis Rakestraw. Rakestraw's physicality, instincts, and willingness to mix it up at the line of scrimmage should fit seamlessly into head coach Dan Campbell's defense. Whether Rakestraw initially competes for snaps at nickel or the outside, his ceiling is as lofty as Arnold's. Okay, so basically what you're saying is he's very similar to Terrion Arnold. His ceiling might be as lofty as Terrion Arnold, even though he was picked after him, but yet somehow he's the most dangerous. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he is dangerous. I think he would allow, I think initially you think of him kind of in like that more nickel package. He did play some nickel in college. Now, it's hard because a lot of players don't play nickel in college because he's the best corner on his team. And both he and Terrion Arnold both played nickel. Because there was just nobody else on their team that was really a good fit in the nickel, even though they were the best corner on their team. So you look at those things and you look at what they have, and it's like, all right, let's have a conversation about that. Like, let's talk about that for a second and realize, like, yeah, he could play nickel, which makes him dangerous. You saw what Brian Branch did in that position last year. When you were able to be willing to mix it up, when you are willing and good tackler, when you have some ball skills and you have the ability to cover well, that is a position in Aaron Glenn's defense that gets a lot of opportunities to do fun things. It also would allow Brian Branch to move back into that safety role at times if he's ready for that. I know last year the Lions started playing him at safety, trying to get him ready to play safety and things like that, but he simply wasn't ready to handle all of that, and it felt like the right decision because he felt like a guy that understood fully how to play the nickel position from day one with the Lions. Maybe he's ready to move back, and that's part of what makes Ennis Rakestraw Jr. so dangerous, is because he allows another one of our players to stay on the field and also be dangerous, if that makes sense. So he gets danger levels magnified or multiplied because he gets some of the credit for others. But is there anybody else? So here's what I've done. I got this list off DetroitLions.com, and it's all the team's transactions over the last few months, and we'll go right back to the beginning of March when we started re-signing some of our guys. So here it is. And if any of these names stick out to you, you let me know if any of them are there. And the other question is, should we include re-signing? Because Dan Campbell's talked about that before. If you re-sign a guy, that's a weapon too. Like, that's a position that you no longer have to replace. That is just as good as going out and signing a free agent. Like, that's a really good thing. So you got re-sign of Zylstra, Mosley, Knight. Carlton Davis was acquired via trade. There's the first guy that I'm like, is he possibly the most dangerous? Because this is a guy that if he can actually take corner number one responsibilities and run with it, it allows this defense to do so much more. This is a guy that has a proven track record of being a good man coverage corner. He's been proven to be a starting caliber corner, but a very good corner in man coverage. All right, so that's one. Bringing back Glasgow, skipper. What about Davenport? Like, I'll give a reason. Dan Campbell talked about our defensive line coach earlier on, and I might even make a whole video about this. But newly hired coach, and we're talking about Terrell Williams, and he's like, look, he is one of, if not the best. He flat out said he's the best D-line coach in the league. All right, here's the quote right here. He goes, I can tell you this, Terrell Williams is, I've got a lot of confidence in Terrell Williams as our D-line coach. I think he really is. He's the best D-line coach in this league. And if he's not, then you can argue what place he is. All right, he said this was talking about Martin, so we might get into that later too. But maybe that helps Davenport. Like, that might help Davenport get the most out of him, because this is a guy who's had some good years but has been fighting injuries. If he's healthy, he's a weapon. The next person on this list is Amik Robertson. All right? To me, it feels like the most dangerous weapon could be him over Terrion Arnold, because he's more proven. And he can play outside. He can play the slot. He can do a lot of stuff. But this next guy, how is this not the most dangerous addition? Defensive lineman DJ Reader. This is a guy that eats double teams for breakfast. This is a guy that will allow all of your other players to have one-on-one matchups. Yeah, guys like Hutch. Yeah, guys like Aleem McNeil. Like, if you're blitzing, like, all of these things, he opens up so much. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. All right, we re-signed Dorsey, Daly, Peoples-Jones. We signed Kevin Zeitler. Hello. Thank you. Is our best weapon just getting rid of Cam Sutton? Sorry, I had to joke. About that. All right. Then re-signed Vildor, Brock Wright. Sorry, Sudfeld. I didn't mean to forget you. And then a bunch of other guys. And then you get into kind of the draft. And you look at most dangerous weapons. And you have to start asking yourself, is it Rakestraw? Is it Arnold? And things like that. Could it be Mekhi Wingo? I don't know. But I think it depends on what your definition of it is. If your most dangerous weapon is a guy that you think is going to be a weapon right now, this upcoming year, it's DJ Reader for me. It is DJ Reader. And if it's the guy who you think is going to be the most dangerous weapon going down the line, I do think you have a place where Ennis Rakestraw is in the conversation for top 3. Terrion Arnold's in there, right? Like, there's a couple of guys that you're like, okay, yeah, that makes some sense, right? Like, he could be the biggest weapon long term. And I think it's those two guys and maybe Carlton Davis at the corner position. It's just awesome to know that we were heading into this offseason with what might be the worst corner room in the league, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're good. And it should be a lot better. And if Aaron Glenn can't produce with this team, then you know what it's on. But man, oh man, am I excited to see this. And I haven't done a lot of Ennis Rakestraw talk, so I wanted to do a little bit of that. I think he has some of the abilities to be an absolute menace in this league for a long time to come, and I would love to see that come to fruition. I hope Bleacher Report's right. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.